What's good, meat boys? Before we jump into this meat event, do us a favor, grill that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 260 subs, which would be insane, right before UFC 260 in March. By the way, thanks to all the subscribers thus far. We're stoked you found the boys, so keep grilling and chilling. Here we go. Alistair versus Alexander, Demo versus Drago in this heavyweight in this heavy meat matchup. Reem wants to be champ. He's been champ everywhere else, and he's taking on the hungry Russian Drago in this main event. Both are coming off nice wins. Volkov just smoked Walt Harris in truly a non-competitive fight. And Overeem's coming off 2 straight wins himself. One also over Walt Harris, and most recently over Augusto Sakai. Who do you got in this heavy meat matchup?
Yeah, this is an absolute heavy meat event. These are some absolute meat boys, big boys for sure. And man, it's really hard to pick one or the other. Both these guys are legends. They're both killers. I mean, Drago is literally Drago. Like he's a sniper. He's great on the feet, great all around. But I'm gonna have to go with the demo, man. I think he's just been on a tear. You know, even at his age, being 40, 8 years old in this guy, he's been looking better than ever his last few fights, and I think that his ground skills is really going to be a big key factor in this victory. And I could see him getting it done on the ground, submission or TKO. It does seem that Drago kind of lacks the ground game, and Overeem is no joke in grappling. He's very well rounded, and he's got some meat bombs. As long as he can get it to the ground, I think he's got this one easy in the bag.
Yeah, Overeem late in his career has really improved his ground game and has just been a very measured and smarter fighter in there recently. Not relying so much on his, potent kickboxing of yesteryear, and is instead really showing how much of a true martial artist Overeem is, because he does have that impressive ground game. And we saw how Drago did in that fight against Curtis Blades, and Curtis Blades wrestling is on a different level. Overeem's wrestling obviously isn't the Curtis Blades level, but do you think that that's going to be his clearest path to victory? And are you worried at all about if this fight stays on the feet for as long as it will? Like, do you think Volkov's going to have a distinct advantage if Overeem does try to play that game?
Yeah, I think Volkov will have the stand-up advantage. Just because I mean his reach, and I mean he only has an inch, but he's just so lanky, and those legs. I mean, if he can keep the distance with his legs and arms, he should be really point winning. But I think over him, he's too well rounded. He's a veteran. He's fought in everyone and all. He's taken wins. He's taken losses, and it's like almost like a spark has, come since he's been 40 years old, and he's just been murking all these young and up and comers. So I think he's gonna get it done. He says he wants to be champion and then retire. So, I'm all aboard the Alistair, Overeem hype train, and I think he's gonna be champion one day again before he retires.
That I want to explore that too. But yeah, in this fight, Volkov's got 40 fights, plenty of experience, champion in former organizations, and Overeem has something like 67 fights. Also has belts in other organizations, and like you mentioned, he said this is his last real run, and it starts, or I guess rather, it continues with another big matchup against a tough guy in Drago. I'm with you 100%. I'm going with Overeem on this one. I think you might have thought I was leaning Volkov a little bit, but I think you're spot on. I think Overeem's going to get the takedown that he needs, and he's going to win another smart fight like he's been doing in these past few performances. Because I've been picking against Overeem, but the way that he's been able to sort of adapt his game and just really extend his career has been pretty impressive, and I think he's going to find a way to get it done over Drago. What is Tapology looking like? Because the odds are pretty interesting on this one, with Drago coming in as a slight favorite, minus 185, and Overeem plus 145. So potential juicy meat value stake. Look over at Tapology, though, because it's very interesting to see the numbers. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, no, odds makers have it, favored in Volkov, but Tapology, the fans are going pretty heavy on Overeem
Heavy.
and heavy KO, which is pretty surprising to be honest. But I tend to agree. I mean, this is more of a pick 'em if I had to say, but very very surprising. You know, the total differences, and it's either the fans at Tapology are casuals or the odds makers are absolute casuals. I tend to think the odds makers tend to be a little more casual than the fans. And this is definitely a little sleeper, juicy meat value, for sure. I think Overeem gets it done pretty convincingly, and I mean he's a legend, and I don't know if Volkov has the tools to really stop him from doing his game plan.
Love it. And you said you think Overeem is going to be a future champ in the UFC. So I'm gonna back pocket that one because so I'm especially rooting for Drago in this one because I want to see how much can Overeem really ride this out. But I think that it continues tomorrow. I'm with you as well. So we're both going with the Demolition Man in this meat event. Appreciate you grilling, chill with the boys.